Alright, so again, I'm talking about Snow White because fuck what the haters have to say. How an entitled no-name actor destroyed Disney classics. Hey guys, Rachel Zegler was in The Hunger Games. She was a good singer. She's not a nobody. So watch your mouth. Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at the more Rachel Zegler controversy, y'all, because that's what we need in this fucking world. We just need to shit on Rachel Zegler some more. We're gonna milk this shit to the very bitter end, and you're gonna like it. I'm gonna play video game match while I do this. Let's go.
Disney was warned for years that their live-action remake of Snow White would be an abysmal failure. They ignored the warnings and
They were still gonna release it anyways, no matter like the risks and shit. Like they don't give a fuck.
instead made every wrong decision possible, leading to a box office bomb. Theaters around the world are empty. The film sold 50% less than they projected. It earned a 1.6 out of 10 star rating on IMDb, a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The CGI dwarves will give you nightmares, and the little people they replaced with CGI have filed a class action lawsuit against Disney.
Why?
Disney himself is turning in his grave because he personally requested that the company should never change, alter, or remake Snow White, but they did it anyway by casting Rachel Zegler, who
Rachel Zegler was probably the first domino that broke the what is that term called? The first domino that fell was Rachel Zegler. Because it all started when, Rachel Zegler made that shitty comment about Snow White, shitting on Snow White, and, how, I guess, she's being stalked by somebody, shit like that. And yeah, this movie wasn't, from the get-go, this movie, didn't have a chance to breathe. And the only person, again, I feel bad for in this situation is literally Snow White. Classic Snow White, 19 whatever the fuck it's from Snow White. That's who I feel bad, because she's been done so dirty from just this entire shit show that the live action wants to call Disney, or that Disney wants to call this dumbass of a live action film.
insisted that they change the entire film to make it more politically correct. Rachel called the original Prince Charming a stalker, insisted that Snow White was not yearning for love, but actually dreamed of being a leader. Rachel also demanded she be paid more for, quote, standing in a dress for 18 hours. Zegler created so much
entitled as fuck. I'm going now.
Much controversy that Disney had to hire a personal security detail for her co-star Gal Gadot because
is it because she believes in Israel or some shit?
Of the countless death threats she was receiving.
Why her?
This movie is an absolute dumpster fire.
I mean, neither of those two deserve death threats because they're both amazing actress, but why?
And Rachel's response to the film bombing proved that everyone's
This was really her response? Because I thought this was some old video.
Suspicions about her were correct.
I'm a narcissist.
And
nice.
Yet none of
you are right, Rachel.
that has anything to do with why people were suspicious about Rachel Zegler in the first place. In 2018, Rachel's friend sent her a tweet about an open casting call for Steven Spielberg's film adaptation
So we're watching the rise and fall of Rachel Zegler.
of West Side Story. So 16-year-old Zegler recorded and submitted an audition tape.
Bernardo and Anita argue all morning about a fight that's gonna happen tonight?
Now, she was definitely a promising young talent. She spent her childhood acting in countless plays and developed an impressive
She was the Little Mermaid on a play?
singing voice. Rachel was just one of 30,000 who auditioned for the role of Maria. Without any professional acting experience, an agent, or connections in Hollywood,
They casted her anyways.
she was selected for the lead role. Her performance earned critical acclaim, and she went on to win the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. The industry plant accusations were formed because some people simply do not believe that a no-name actor could get this lucky. She was basically hand-selected by Steven Spielberg. Then again, with the entertainment industry being
She just got lucky. I mean, there's no way to say it.
Flooded with Nepo babies and people born into immense wealth, Rachel being essentially a random girl from New Jersey securing an A-list role actually might be a step in the right direction for Hollywood.
Yeah, stop hiring these dumbass Nepo babies.
However, they may have chose the wrong girl, because her inability to keep her politically charged opinions to herself started to cause problems for Disney executives.
Was it before? Come on, if you're gonna give me like the Trump supporter tweet, or you're gonna give me like what's it called, the Palestine one, like if you give me more than just that, then I'll believe this.
As if West Side Story wasn't already,
because I feel like those two tweets have been like you know, overused.
A massive introduction to Hollywood, her next role was even bigger, one that could set her up for a
Snow White. Wait a minute.
lifetime of success, and that was being cast as Snow White in Disney's
Yes.
live-action remake of the classic. Rachel chose to make this monumental announcement on Twitter where she wrote,
Yes, I'm Snow White. No, I am not. Oh, what the fuck?
Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role.
Damn. This funny as shit. Wait, how white is Rachel? She looks white enough. Just put bright lights on her face and then she'll be very white as snow. She looks white enough, y'all.
Wrote, yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role. Rachel deleted
I'd bleach my skin for any role though. Like if I was casted as as Snow White, I'd bleach my skin.
this tweet shortly after sending it out to the world. However, the reason she brought up
She probably deleted it because she, I guess, an NDA or some shit, or spoils or some shit like that, or like,
her skin color in the first
why are people so mad at Rachel's actually getting okay?
place was to address the criticism she was receiving online. In the original fairy tale and the 1937 animated film, Snow White is depicted as
Yes, she's white because she's white as snow, and she's
having
not.
skin as white as snow.
Yeah, I understand that controversy. I understand why people are kind of up in arms about that. I guess.
It is quite literally the inception of the princess's identity, but Rachel Zegler is of Colombian descent and has
My people, let's get it. We love to see my people get roles.
more of an olive skin tone. Now, there definitely were some extreme takes suggesting that Disney is evil.
Disney is evil. Okay, good. I mean, Disney does suck ass, but come on, implying that Disney is doing this to have some.
And
Because I know what this person's about to say.
only casting POC characters to cause outrage. There were
Yeah.
also some blatantly racist takes.
Yeah, that's what I was about to call out. Dude, if you're being racist over a fucking Disney princess act casting, you really need to go outside and, you know, touch grass. Because there's more shit to worry about than just fucking dumb ass fucking princesses.
But most people were just genuinely confused why Snow White wasn't going to be white. And this does seem to be
That's a genuine question, though. Why isn't she white? Why is white as snow not white as snow?
a recurring theme for Disney these days. The original 1989 animation of The Little Mermaid depicted Ariel as a white woman, whereas the 2023 live-action remake cast Halle Bailey as Ariel, who
I think the difference between Halle Bailey being Ariel than the fucking Rachel Zegler being Snow White is because I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long ass fucking time since I've seen Little Mermaid, but I don't think her skin has any meaning. Ariel's skin has no meaning to her name or nothing. Like, she has no backstory about her name. While Snow White, she's white as snow. I think that's where I feel like I understand somewhat the outrage of Snow White not being white as snow. But the whole Ariel outrage, it was kind of silly. It's pretty stupid. It's literally a goddamn Disney princess. Chill.
was African American. And yes, this film was also accused of pandering, trying to change something that was a non-issue.
The only thing I didn't like about Ariel from The Little Mermaid was her hair. Make it more orange, at least. If, like, I don't give a fuck about the skin. Do whatever you want. But the hair, man. Like, make it more orange. I mean, the movie's out already, and it's probably doing numbers, so, like, fuck what I have to say, right?
Yes, this film was also accused of pandering, trying to change something that was a non-issue in the first place. However, defenders pointed out that mermaids don't have a race because they are not real. Normally, these controversies lead to failure, but the
And and if you want to go the race route, I mean, they're literally a mermaid. That's a completely different fucking race.
film grossed over $560 million worldwide and made a solid profit.
Yeah, so at least Little Mermaid made a lot of fucking money. There were a lot of right wing crybabies, bitching about Ariel being a black woman, but like at the end of the day, who fucking cares, dude? It's fucking a fucking Little Mermaid that nobody gives a fuck about. You shouldn't give a fuck about. Like, you should go outside and fucking touch fucking grass for the life of me. Yeah, I think I've already said my take on the Snow White thing. I understand a bit of the outrage of Snow White not being white because I guess her skin has meaning. She's white as snow. But Ariel, her being black, I mean, come on, it doesn't hurt because, well, fuck, what am I going to say? Because Ariel's skin has, like, no fucking meaning to her. Like, she's just white. Like, there's no backstory in that. That's where I kind of understand the outrage between Snow White not being white as snow, but Ariel. The Ariel outrage, though, is silly.
Normally, alternative version a solid profit, but Zegler insisted that the Snow White remake was based on an alternative version of the story, one that doesn't have to do with her skin color. She said, it fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby, and so the king...
What the fuck? That is stupid.
And Queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her...
Okay, that's like me naming my fucking kid the second tower because they survived 9/11 or some shit like that. That's like me naming my fucking kid Fire because they survived the wildfire. That's kind of stupid. That sounds very silly if you really think about it.
Of her
By the way, I apologize for being so insensitive to, all those tragedies. They were really bad.
Resilience. One of the core points in our film for any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are. And while this may seem like a small nuance that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, it was an insight into the major changes that were coming next. Because the more Zegler talked about the film...
Weren't they going to change the dwarfs too? Like, they weren't originally going to be dwarfs. They were originally going to be fuck faces or something.
The more it seemed like it was going to be a disaster, particularly in this Variety interview where she talked about how she and the writers are giving Snow White a modern twist.
This is what started the whole shit show.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming.
These two people are the reason Snow White flopped in theaters.
Dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Snow White dreams of being a leader.
And also, isn't Snow White for like soft girls? Not soft girls as in like you're weakish or something, but like, sweet woman or some shit. I don't get it.
Why not write a totally new story instead of remaking the old one?
Yeah, just white. Yeah, instead of making a live action Snow White movie, why don't you get all those casts that you decided to direct and then make a movie called White Snow?
It has nothing to do
just for the fuck of it.
With Snow White. Zegler, there is nothing wrong with dreaming about true love. But people were not overreacting in the comments. Zegler supported stripping this classic story of its roots.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
This is fucking pathetic. I'm cringing.
So we didn't do that this time.
Rachel's tone might come off silly to some, but it is evidently so sarcastic. Referring to Prince Charming as a stalker is inaccurate and disrespectful. We are not talking about just any Disney film. We are talking about the first ever full-length animated feature film in history.
Snow White. And also, she claimed that she hasn't seen the fucking movie in like a decade, so... Wow, Rachel. Way to talk out of your ass on that one.
This is quite literally Walt Disney's baby. Now, people are already a little apprehensive.
Yeah, and they're fucking neutering the fuck out of Walt Disney's fucking baby. What the hell is this? This is ugly as shit. Why would you make this, Disney? This is disgusting.
Towards the countless remakes of old Disney classics, but
Beauty and the Beast, though, was tough.
Rachel's lack of class and grace pushed anyone who was even a little open-minded away. Despite that, she continued to express her disdain for the original film.
I was scared of the original
Why can't you fucking shut up, dude. You're already fucking the movie. Don't fuck your wallet.
cartoon. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once, never revisited Snow White again.
What's interesting about Rachel claiming to be scared of the original film is that she also said the exact opposite during her press tour, showing pictures of her as a child in her Snow White dress and how she always dreamed as a little girl of being this princess.
Wow, way to contradict yourself.
This constant flip-flopping, along with her sarcastic tone, just soured people's perception of her. But not only did she seem unappreciative of a Disney classic, she also made some interesting comments about her next role as Anthea in Shazam,
She did the same thing?
Fury of the Gods.
She was in the Hunger Games. That's what I know about Rachel Zegler.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes? I needed a job.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. That's the realest answer I have ever heard from an actor in my entire life.
I'm being
Like, why are you here? Why are you here? Hey, why are you here? Why did you take this role of such an amazing character? Yeah, I'm broke. I need a fucking job. I rent is so low. That's so real. I would say same shit. Although I'm gonna get fucking a lot of pushback and a lot of controversy and a lot of people are gonna hate me. But it's Hollywood, baby.
so serious.
While yes, even actors have bills to pay and need a
That was so funny. I did not expect that fucking answer.
job to do that, some interpreted the remark as snarky and annoying. Now, to be fair, later in the interview, Rachel does go on to express her gratitude for receiving this role, considering it was only her second Hollywood film ever. But her unapologetic attitude on the red carpet continued
Yeah, at least she showed that shit.
to stir the pot, and she just kept making it worse, specifically during the writer's strike of 2023.
Yeah, isn't that the whole reason why Snow White got delayed?
The Writers Guild of America represents thousands of writers in film, TV, radio, and online media. They are the backbone of Hollywood's content. Despite their importance, Hollywood executives restructured the industry to drastically reduce residual payments, leaving most writers with little to no income after their work is uploaded to apps like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, etc. So the Guild went on a strike to renegotiate and push for higher pay. Rachel Zegler also
That's good shit. Good shit right there.
used her voice to support the strike.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
Oh, that's where the clip came from? Oh, I'm so stupid. I thought this was a... Look, I defended this clip a lot because I thought this clip was from filming the Snow White movie. And from the looks of it, it's hot as hell outside. So I would demand higher pay too if I was forced to stand outside a dress for like 18 hours. And this is all because of an actor strike writer strike. Which, is she even a writer? Not sure, but is this even about her, or is he just here for herself? Selfish shit.
She's like everything.
I'm probably fucking... She just made it about herself.
People hate about this generation distilled into a single person. At this point, I'm sure you are noticing a pattern. While we hope that deep down Rachel's intentions are pure, and we hope that she truly is just trying to have an overall positive impact on the world, she has a terrible way of expressing her opinions, as her tone often comes off as disrespectful. Having 2 movies under her belt and already aggressively
Fix your tone, Rachel.
demanding higher pay came off extremely entitled, especially considering
Titled ass B.
the strike was mostly
Yeah, it was about writers. You're not a writer, Rachel.
for writers because main characters, like Zegler, are often compensated extremely generously. By this point,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you're not a fucking writer, Rachel. Why are you protesting for yourself? I thought you were there to support the writers, but you're just there for yourself.
her reputation was at an all-time low, and there were even rumors circulating that Disney was going to axe this film, as countless people
Axe the film. They should have. That film was hard garbage. The movie was complete ass.
expressed that Rachel Zegler is the sole reason that they would not go to watch the movie. But then somehow Disney
Okay, Rachel Zegler would not be the reason why I'm not watching this movie. There would be multiple reasons. Overall, that movie just looks like ass from the poster, from everything. Everything there just is ass.
managed to make things even worse. They announced that they would be changing Snow White's 7 dwarves to the more politically correct Snow White's diverse group of magical creatures of all.
What the fuck? At this point, you might as well just, like, fucking make a whole new movie. Say, Fuckface and the 7 fucks. There. That would be a $100 million box office right there.
Sizes and genders. Photos of the cast were leaked onto the internet, which sparked.
This was weren't they originally going to be bandits and shit? But then they turned out to be like AI, and then they got a lot of flack for this. So then Disney decided to, scratch this shit and make it the 7 Dwarfs. Yeah. This is what I mean by I feel so bad. The only person, like, dude, Snow White is just the only person I feel bad for in this situation is literally classic Snow White, bro. She's been done so dirty by these just incompetent fucks.
Outrage. These look like medieval times reenactors at the local fair. Disney quickly responded and said that these were not pictures of the actual set, but nobody believed them. The only reason Disney planned on changing the dwarves in the first place was because of a comment made by Hollywood star Peter Dinklage,
Yeah, he said, like, this is taking away opportunities for dwarfs.
who felt that the new rendition of the movie was not progressive enough.
I was a little taken back by they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the
That's nice.
story of Snow
Still
White.
Snow White, yeah.
7 Dwarfs.
Sure.
You take a step back and look at what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I know. That makes no sense to me.
Well, so what?
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
Even though Peter Dinklage has built an illustrious Hollywood legacy with countless roles as a little person, he seemed pretty upset with Disney. They promptly responded that they would avoid reinforcing stereotypes and would be consulting with members of the dwarfism community to make the 7 characters more inclusive. Most people just looked at this as Disney once again pandering to another social issue, but what often happens when trying to please everyone for the sake of being politically correct, you end up pleasing no one.
What they're doing is pretty much you're replacing jobs that people could have as little people. Okay. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, it's 4 dwarfs.
Disney was
What are you gonna name those? Snow White and the 7. Forget what I was gonna say. What I was about to say was gonna be so insensitive.
Panicking for a solution to make both sides happy, and nobody could have predicted how bad their solution to this problem would be.
Yeah, even if Rachel Zegler didn't say shit or said nothing at all, this whole Snow White would still be a shit show.
Instead of casting real actors,
They put AI, dude. They just slapped this fucking dwarf actor in the face. They just gave him the double middle finger. Fuck you, dwarf actor. You want dwarfs so bad? Here you go. We're making AI dwarfs. Suck our corporate balls.
Disney decided to eliminate them and use CGI dwarves instead, which will provide enough nightmare fuel to last you the rest of 2020.
This is probably more scarier than the fucking original movie. Now I side with Rachel Zegler on being scared of this original Snow White shit.
5. The dwarves look like scary.
I'm kidding, by the way.
monsters, not cute, charming friends. The overuse of CGI in this film allowed them to take shortcuts. Instead of creating detailed artistic sets and costumes, they relied on animation, which made the film feel cheap, hollow, and soulless.
And not so live action at all.
Like, wasn't this supposed to be a live
Yes, that's what I literally just said, dude. Holy shit, dude. We have the same minds.
action remake? Where's the live action? Why is there so much CGI? Why does it look like a really bad cartoon?
The CGI action of Snow White and the Seven Poops.
Additionally, the significance of the dwarves to the story was drastically reduced. Grumpy and Dopey got a decent amount of screen time, while the other 5 dwarves were barely shown enough for the viewers to be able to distinguish them from one another. Ironically, all of these decisions were made to avoid backlash from the dwarfism community, and now the little people who were removed from the film are now planning a class action lawsuit against Disney for replacing them with cartoons.
That's funny.
This is so ridiculous.
It's so gay, dude. I'm fucking telling you.
Actress Allie Chapman, who is 3 foot 8 inches tall, said, 7 talented little people actors could have played these roles in the live action remake, and yet they chose to use cartoons. It's an insult and discriminatory. You ever see one of those tragic situations where it's extremely foggy and there's a traffic jam on the highway and you have cars speeding into the fog, just crashing into each other? That is this film. And surely it couldn't get any worse, right?
Oh my god, please don't tell me it gets worse.
Wrong.
You haven't even gotten into that one gal bitch, dude. I want you to get into her. And if you don't, then I'm gonna get into her.
Because now there was a major dispute between the 2 stars of the film.
Oh my god. Yes! You got into these 2 specifically ruined this film for the worse. Actually, I'm doing it right. We'll put my cursor up here because it's inappropriate.
Gal Gadot.
These 2 officially ruined the Snow White movie.
And Rachel Zegler. Fans noticed sometime between 2023 and 2024 that Gal and Rachel may have developed some tension. As you can see in this interview, Gal is being professional, looking and smiling while Zegler is speaking. But whenever Gal is speaking, Zegler refuses to look at her, often looking down at her feet or off to the side. Their body language screams that there is tension between them.
How could you tell from that, bro? I could never do that.
And these assumptions would be proven true. When Disney released the official trailer for Snow White, Rachel thanked the fans for their support, receiving over 120.
Oh my god. I love y'all so much. Thank you for the love, and 100 million views on our trailer. It's just 24 hours of World Hill.
20 million views in 24 hours. She used that big moment to make a political statement. And always remember, free Palestine.
Nice. I don't give a shit.
While some saw this as an honorable act of solidarity, others interpreted it as a jab at her co-star, Gal.
What? Oh, she's Jewish.
Gadot is Israeli and even served in
Oh, never mind. Forget what I said. I'm stupid.
their military. Gal has been outwardly supportive of her country, specifically posting support for the IDF and civilian hostages taken during the October 7th Hamas attack. Almost immediately, Gal began getting a concerning amount of death threats. Things got so bad that Disney had to hire a personal security detail for Gadot. One of the Disney producers, Mark Platt, flew from Los Angeles to New York to have a personal crisis talk with Zegler. Platt.
Why? Woke Snow White star Rachel Zegler blamed for spike and death threats to
Had to remind
That's not good.
her how much was at stake with the movie and her career before asking her to post heedfully.
I mean, this fucking movie was already a shit show, regardless of Rachel saying free Palestine or not.
Son of the Disney producer was criticized online for his father trying to reprimand Zegler, to which he responded, "Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for..."
Yeah, that's kind of lame, though. You can't... Yeah, I kind of understand why that guy flew all the way to fucking wherever the fuck he lives to have a talk, I guess, tard wrangle Rachel Zegler.
which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech.
I think it was more than that, though. But yeah, I agree with free speech, too. Free speech should be said, especially with Rachel Zegler.
Does not mean
By that, I mean, like, Rachel Zegler does deserve a voice.
you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she...
But if you're saying shit on social media, freedom of speech does exist, too. Like, you're allowed to say it on social media, but freedom of consequences exists, too.
hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Now, Rachel Zegler cannot necessarily be held responsible for the actions of other people.
Yeah, I mean, yes. What am I saying? Dude, there's so much shit to unpack that I'm just, like, zoning out of all of it, but... yeah, Rachel Zegler is not at fault for dumb tards on Twitter just sending threats towards Gal.
After all, her and her co-star are doing the exact same thing. They are just expressing support.
They're just on the different side. They're just on different sides of the shit.
For opposite sides. But all of this could have been avoided if they just left politics out of a children's movie. But
I mean, that could be avoided too. All this shit could have been avoided too, because yeah, there was a lot of more, but there will be a lot more problems headed their way. So yeah.
Zegler was insistent on making her political opinion heard at any opportunity she could.
Vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable. Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights.
Well, that aged terribly.
Come on. Go vote blue.
Yeah, I'm not voting blue for that shit. Just kidding, guys. I voted blue. Don't kill me.
And if you disagree with this sentiment...
oh my god, what are you going to say? Hope you die?
just hit the unfollow button.
Oh, well, I didn't do that, so I'm sorry. I didn't vote red, by the way. Chill.
I don't need your business.
And
LOL.
what better time than immediately after the election of President Donald Trump? She posted on...
yeah, this one was by far probably like the worst shit said ever.
her Instagram story, I find
Now, trust me, I've seen worse, but...
myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in, leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. She doesn't have a daughter, by the way.
Why bring it up then? What the fuck? Why bring up what, your non-existent daughter? The fuck? Maybe she plans on having a daughter?
Leaning us towards a...
but, like, why are you saying that?
world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want, leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning, and I am here with you, to cry, to yell, to hug, to wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace.
That statement right there is what people call an ass face. Statements like that are probably... look, I don't like getting political and shit, but I'm probably gonna say this, and I'll just leave it at that. I know I made a lot of jokes about politics and shit, but making, like, I guess hoping or wishing, like she's implying that she's wishing, like, I don't want to say like death or anything, but like she's basically wishing like not good things to happen to her political opponents, which shit like that is not gonna get you any votes. Actually, that will like push people away from what you're, you know, working towards or what you're trying to like build off. Like, it's gonna like give people the ick and not want to like vote for your side. I hate like these sides of politics. There's also red people on the red side that do this shit too. It's fucking annoying, dude. If you guys want people to join your political side, then actually talk like a fucking adult and don't give me like this gay fucking shit, dude. It's fucking pathetic.
This sent the media into an all-out frenzy, particularly conservative media, who were shocked that Disney was allowing their star to publicly condemn half the country.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for...
Oh my god, what the fuck? I fucking look away and then I just heard pig and I opened my fucking eyes, so now I'm awake now. Holy shit.
far less than this nonsense.
Rachel finally crossed a line. Disney was officially fed up with her and decided to take action. First,
they took action for that tweet?
I'm assuming they made her apologize because she redacted her comments she made about the election. From there, Zegler reportedly began working with a social media guru paid for by Disney to vet any posts before the film's March 20th.
Why didn't you do this like before? You could have saved yourself so much trouble, Disney.
First debut. They
actually no, your movie was still shit.
Essentially had someone monitoring her social media so she wasn't able to sabotage.
That's how bad it's fucking gotten, bro. This is so bad.
Sabotage the film any further, but the damage had already been done. The film officially released in theaters worldwide on...
By the way, guys, I just cracked my phone. Oh my fucking god. I need a new phone. Holy shit. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Oh my. No. This is bad. This is bad. This is so bad. Holy god. Oh my god. This is it. My life is over. My life is officially over. Now I have to stream every day.
On March 21st, 2025, there was a slight chance that all this negative publicity would actually draw more attention to the film.
No. In fact, I predicted that this movie was going to do numbers and that all the controversy would just go away. Like, no one would give a fuck. Everyone would just watch the movie. Disney's going to make a fuck ton of money in their pockets, and they're going to, you know, what's it called? Make toys, make a lot of shit. But turns out it's so ass that they're actually projected to lose money.
Increase ticket sales and lead to a successful debut. Unfortunately for Disney, the opposite happened. Fans knew this movie was going to suck way before it ever released, and
it's not because of Rachel Zegler, by the way. It's because of other shit too.
No matter how many professional critics on Rotten Tomatoes are writing positive reviews, the fans have made their statement with a lack of support. And as a result, Snow White has suffered a disastrous opening weekend at the global box office, earning only $87.3 million worldwide, which sounds like a lot until you realize
that Disney spent a lot of fucking money on this. Which, it was good compared to other movies, but like, in Disney standards, it's a hot piece of garbage.
It had a staggering $250 million production budget, which some reports suggest is actually closer to $300 million after reshoots and marketing costs. That means they had a whopping 70% loss, making it one of Disney's biggest box office bombs in recent history. This performance is nearly exactly the same as The Little Mermaid. It had the same budget and had a very similar opening weekend. However,
but guys, I paid to watch Little Mermaid, so Little Mermaid deserves all the love because I paid for it. I didn't pirate, I paid for it.
However, The Little Mermaid...
Didn't Minecraft make more than Snow White? Didn't Minecraft make more in like 3 days than Snow White has ever had in like 2 weeks?
Was actually a pretty good remake with positive reviews. Fans later decided to give the movie a shot, which resulted in a 569...
Yeah, because despite Ariel being the face of controversy during the Little Mermaid controversy, at least no one gave a fuck when the movie released. At least this movie wasn't a hot pile of ass to the point like where the controversy followed them till the release. Like, people just bitched about Ariel's design in the movie, but like nobody really gave a fuck. Nobody really gave a fuck until when the movie released, and then Disney made a fuck ton of money. And I applaud The Little Mermaid for this shit, cuz that's how Snow White was supposed to be. No one was supposed to give a fuck about Rachel being an ass face in the beginning, but she just kept going on and on and on, and just more, and Disney just fucked up Snow White, dude. And like, again, dude, I am so depressed and sad because the only person I feel bad for in this fucking situation is literally classic Snow White herself. She's been done so goddamn dirty by these fucking corporate ball faces.
$1 million worldwide box office earnings. But due to the overwhelming agreement from people who actually watch the movie that it sucks, and then people straight up boycotting, I don't think Snow White's gonna get a second wind. This is a bomb. And Rachel Zegler's response...
And it was exploded. I didn't know this was a response to Snow White sucking ass. I thought this was just like a response like to something a long time ago.
So the box office failure was nothing short of delusional.
And to everyone
All right.
who hates when I win,
Did you win?
the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces,
What does that mean?
and people still line up to see her.
I don't get it. Is her you? Cause I don't know. I've been in an empty theater. Dude, literally watching Snow White, it felt like I felt like I rented a fucking theater.
And I can only hope
I hope. Okay.
that despite my flaws, and
A lot of them.
despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of
Big cracks, big breaks. Like, fuck, dude. You have more cracks than the fucking... Fuck. You have more cracks than the fucking glass window.
them, that at every premiere
Every premiere.
and everything I do,
Okay.
people will wait in line to see.
People
We're not waiting to watch Snow White, but we will watch But I will watch the Hunger Games for you, Rachel. Mainly because you wore an entitled ass in there.
who already thought Zegler was a narcissist have officially confirmed their feelings after seeing this statement. They suspected she was trying to make this film about her. They suspected that she did not care for the legacy of Disney and that all she wanted was the spotlight for
And I
herself.
think Disney or Rachel Zegler kind of fucked herself in the long run when it comes to like big roles like a Disney, like as she said, an iconic Disney princess. Like an iconic Disney princess. She kind of fucked herself when it comes to like big roles because she's not gonna get like a huge role like a Disney princess, like an awesome Disney princess in the future or something awesome from Disney. Although she was in the Hunger Games, I think she had an awesome role there. So I guess controversy really doesn't fuck you at all.
And honestly, this response makes it seem like those assumptions are now justified. But it's a
By the way, deserved the rating.
confusing response because the film was a massive flop. Like, essentially, she's saying, haha, my movies are so great, you just have to line up and you have to watch them. But
I'll pirate it for you, Rachel.
that's not the case. People are actually not waiting in line for this film specifically because of her. And
Yeah, people only want to watch it because it's Snow White and they want to see how the remake was. Nobody wants to watch you. I mean, some people do, just for like devious reasons, but
as
I should stop talking.
easy as it is to continuously blame her for the failure of this film, it's only fair to admit that
Yeah,
Rachel Zegler's performance was actually decent. She is a
yeah, she's a good singer. That's all I can say about Rachel Zegler.
great singer, and she definitely performed well considering most of what makes the film actually bad was outside of her control. Like,
Yeah, I feel bad because like this whole like her acting and singing was good, but it was overshadowed by the amount of ass like this whole entire movie. The whole production that was behind this movie.
most Disney live-action remakes, Snow White just felt a bit bland and lacked the magic of the original. The
And it was actually worse.
CGI looked cheap, the colors are dull and boring, the evil queen didn't feel very evil at all. These
She felt crusty.
remakes often struggle to capture the same charm, making them feel like a corporate cash grab. But since Disney will lose money on this film, perhaps they won't make this same mistake going forward.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking, they're gonna hire real dwarves, they're gonna hire real actors, they're gonna make live action, an actual live action.
But the biggest learning lesson for Disney here is that
don't fuck your movie, and then you won't lose a ton of money.
The internet outrage is not fake. When people say, hey, your main character is insufferable and I will not spend my money to see this movie, they're not lying. When people say they genuinely want politics to remain out of a children's movie,
they're out of politics.
Not lying.
God, I have to throw up. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And when people say it's better to just invent new stories instead of alter the classics, they are not lying. The people won, but the truth is, this film should have never been made. Walt Disney himself was extremely protective of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This was essentially his baby.
Poor Walt.
Walt reportedly rejected multiple.
And he gave his baby away. No, he didn't give it. Oh my god, dude, I feel bad, bro. It's his baby, and the rest of the people just fucking killed the baby. The baby's dead. Baby, the 100-year-old or how old, whatever the fuck old Snow White is now, it's dead. It's been dead for a while.
Multiple ideas for sequels, including a proposed short called Snow White Returns, and was adamant that the original story should not be altered or expanded, as he believed Snow White was a standalone masterpiece that should remain untouched. And it's extremely evident that Disney should have honored their creator's one wish.
And no, they've done her so goddamn dirty, bro. They've done dirtied her, bro. They've dirtied the fuck out of Snow White, dude. Again, I feel bad for literally classic Snow White, dude. I've said this 1,000 times, but holy shit, how true is my statement? Her fucking shit just got fucking done so wrong by these people, just a bunch of idiots just that can't fucking run a movie for shit. I should stop talking.